It's less than 4 months until the midterm elections, and according to forecasters, Democrats have the momentum in the fight for House control. The Cook Political Report is now shifting 6 more races in Democrats' direction. 2 likely Democrat contests are now rated as solid Democrat, and 2 lean Democrat races are now rated as likely Democrat. On the Republican side, the race for Texas 15 moved from likely Republican to lean Republican, meaning that Cook now considers that a competitive race for Democrats. And joining me now to talk about all of that is Erin Covey, who is an editor at the Cook Political Report, who focuses on the House of Representatives. Erin, thank you so much for being here. So walk us through these moves and why Cook feels that that is shifting right now in the Democrats' direction, potentially.
Yeah, look, we're still 4 months out from the midterm, so we don't know exactly what the battle for control of the House is going to look like. But as we get closer to November, we have more information. We have a lot of polling from both parties. We have ad reservations, fundraising totals. We know who the candidates will be in a lot of places since the primaries have finished. And so these ratings, reflect developments in these individual races. Of course, they obviously altogether reflect a political environment that favors Democrats. We also put out our initial range of potential outcomes for the House today, which shows that, in most scenarios, Democrats would control the House, but Republicans do have a path to holding it as well.
And let's talk specifically about this race in Texas between incumbent Republican Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz and this Tejano singer, Bobby Pulido. Some of his past tweets have now emerged, and they include homophobic and racist slurs. So how much of an uphill battle is he facing currently in this race?
It's a good question. So this is a seat that Trump carried by 18 points in 2024. So under normal circumstances, it's not a seat that we would generally consider competitive. But this is a seat that's in South Texas, has a large majority Hispanic population, and we've seen Hispanic voters have, really reverted against Trump after moving towards him in 2024. At the same time, Democrats recruited Pulido, who is a minor celebrity in the Valley in Texas. So he comes in better known than the Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz, whose district also changed as a result of redistricting. However, as you said before, Republicans have a lot of oppo that they can throw at Pulido from his past tweets and his association with the convicted sex offender. And so the ads are going to be flying. But if we look at the initial polling and the initial fundraising, this looks like quite a close race. So I think the question is this Bobby Pulido's peak? Will Republicans be able to redefine him? But right now he starts out in a pretty strong position for a district this red.
And zooming out, what would you say are the kind of current paths potentially to victory for both sides? Who has the overall advantage right now at this point, still 4 months out?
So we believe that Democrats have the overall advantage, but Republicans do have a path. If you look at our race ratings as they are right now, if Republicans won half of the toss-ups, they would still hold the House with roughly the same number of seats that they have right now. So they certainly do have a path. However, typically in a midterm cycle, we would see the party that's out of power in the White House, so Democrats in this case, they typically win most of those toss-up races. And, as we get closer to November, that toss-up list will probably change. So it's certainly not set in stone.
Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit about that, because how many more shifts do you think we should expect to see when it comes to these ratings? A couple more, or can they be really updated all the way pretty close to November based on what you're talking about, the ad spending and some of these other interesting factors?
It varies a lot cycle by cycle, and it's not like we have a very set in stone schedule for those race ratings changes. It's very responsive to the developments that we're seeing in these races. But, in 2018, we were making a lot of race ratings changes in the final couple of months of the race. You can go on our website and see the amount of races that shifted between at this point in 2018 and November. So certainly things could change. But, we've seen nationally the generic ballot average looks good for Democrats, but not quite as good as it did in 2018. It slipped over the last month. And so, we don't exactly know that it's going to be that good of an environment as it was at that cycle.
Still so much to watch, and we know you'll be watching it very closely. Erin Covey, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.